Barbara Corcoran from Shark Tank.
My favorite guest that we have on regularly. And Barbara, thank you for coming on the show.
My pleasure, Bobby.
I have 1,000 questions, like 4. But number one,
you always have questions.
I know, and mostly it's people reaching out to me, and I don't know the answer to them, and so I save them for you. And one that I get a lot is people that follow money advice on TikTok, and they're like, my kids are watching TikTok, and they're learning things about finances. Like, how do you know who to trust of all these videos on TikTok and who's telling you good advice and not?
You really don't know who to trust. I would suggest kids listen to everything anyway, and hopefully they have some good judgment along the way that says, maybe this makes sense, I've heard this before, maybe it doesn't make sense, but they're getting the news through TikTok, all of it, so you might as well get used to it.
So basically embrace the fact they are getting everything there and teach them how to wade through it and understand not just money news or learning about money, but just in general.
I guess. I mean, I wouldn't want to be put in the position of teaching my 19-year-old which money advice is good and what money advice is bad. She wouldn't tolerate it. She wouldn't let me sit down next to her and see what she's watching. But at least she's getting the news. She's informed. She always has an opinion on everything. And I say, did you learn that in school? No, I learned it on TikTok. That's the answer. I learned it on TikTok.
Some of these guys that I follow, they'll do the thing where they're like, you know, when I interview someone, this is the one question I ask them. And then it's always some question that I really wouldn't know the answer to if they asked me. Whenever you're doing interviews, like, do you have that question?
Yeah, you know what question I hate? If you could live your life again, what would you tell yourself as a 12-year-old? I have no answer. I'm like, that's a stupid question. I didn't tell myself anything, and I can't imagine what I tell myself.
I would cheat and be like, invest in Apple or something like that. Like, it'd be totally selfish. Like, that would be... When you interview people,
I'll use it next time.
When you interview people, do you have a question that you always ask if you're bringing someone on your staff?
The only question I ever want to ask is what they haven't been asked before. I try very hard to ask something very different. When I interview people, I don't ask the usual questions because I really want to find out about their personality, their motivation, how aggressive they are, what they liked about their old jobs, what they hated about their boss. I really go deep with them in the interviewing process because I want to get a sense of the person I have in front of me. I really try to do that on Shark Tank too. Most of it's cut out because you only see 8 minutes on Shark Tank and we're there for an hour and a half. So we get a chance to ask a lot of the deep dive questions you just don't see at home.
So Shark Tank, by the way, the season 16, which is wild to think. It's 16
Amazing.
seasons, so many. Yeah.
I'll be dead soon doing Shark Tank.
It premiered on the 16th, so it's up. How long does it take you guys to shoot a season? Do you knock it all out in a week, a couple weeks?
We knock it out in about 12 days, 12 long days, I should say, 8 to 14-hour days. We work very hard at it, but we get the whole thing in a tank. We have 2 trips to LA, which ain't bad for a whole year of Shark Tank.
There will be stories and there'll be judges that'll be interviewed, and they'll say, like, look, if I'm cranky, it's hard to be in front of me, and I make decisions based on if the day's been long. And, you know, judges are making decisions based on how they feel a lot of times. With you guys, do you feel like you make decisions on what you're going to invest in, or maybe you don't if you're tired and it's been a long day and there are certain positions you want to be in if you're bringing a pitch in?
I swear to God, I never invest in a business that's right before lunch. I'm hungry, I'm grumpy, I've been filming for 6 hours already, and I just want to eat my lunch. So if you're in front of me right before lunch, you don't get a deal. And in fact, if you actually looked at the deals on Shark Tank, the great majority of it gets no offers. I bet fall right before lunch. The end of the day, I say yes to anything. If it moves, I say yes. If
just to get out of there?
Yes, let me out of here. Let's make a deal.
Lunchbox.
Speaking of being dead, Barbara, you said, you're going to be dead doing Shark Tank. You're super rich, girl. Have you thought about retirement? Like, let's chill out and relax for a little bit.
It's not going to be It's not going to involve retirement for me at all. And when I'm dead, I'm sure I'm not going to buy a fancier coffin than the next guy. No, I just like to work because I really love to work. I really love to work. I always have.
Eddie?
Yeah, Barbara, so when I watch Shark Tank, there's like the regular pitches when they pitch some business, but then there's people that like sing jingles and stuff. Does it help to go in with like something different, or is just the idea have to be good?
No, it's more important to have the jingle. It's more important to be good TV. Remember, Shark Tank is a business show, but before that, it's a show. So you got to put on a show. I love a good jingle. The best business I ever invested in, or at least made the most money in, was a sweatshirt company. And the guys walked up to the stage and just sang a jingle. They had no answers. They had nothing, but I made $18 million on that deal.
Holy crap.
Wow.
She bought the sizzle. Like that's the sizzle.
I love a jingle.
Wow. How do you feel about this being Mark's last season?
It was sad. In one way, we all did our best job. I think you'll see the best season on Shark Tank because we wanted to perform almost for Mark so he'd remember us and really miss us. So we put everything into the season, really. But on the other end, it was like watching your older brother leave the table at home. It's like, where you going? You're leaving us? It was kind of sad. So it was both fantastic as well as it was sad.
I've been thinking about this question for a long time, so bear with me here. If you could go back and tell Barbara in season 1 anything, what would you tell her?
Don't pay attention to the businesses. Just focus on the entrepreneur. You'll lose all your money on good businesses and make all your money on great entrepreneurs. That's the truth.
Investing in talent.
Took me 3 years to realize that. I wasted so much money in those first 3 years. I still mourn the money I lost.
Morgan.
Yeah, you've had so many business and life accomplishments. Which one has been the most important to you?
Having a baby after trying 7 years. I couldn't do it through in vitro. I tried everything. Just getting that call from the doctor on the 10th day saying again and again, I'm sorry, you're not pregnant, was the worst chapter of my life. Those 7 years was when I was in my late 40s. Having a baby for me, without a doubt, was the happiest news and happiest chapters of my life.
Shark Tank season 16 airs Fridays nationwide on ABC, 8/7 Central. And the story that comes with you is she's invested over 100 businesses on Shark Tank. Do you have a separate folder of just the Shark Tank businesses, or are they involved in all of your investments?
Actually, it's more like 150 by this point. But no, I do not have a folder. What's important for me is to remember which are the good ones and to help them as much as I can. I think I mentioned to you in the last show, I have all my entrepreneurs in a picture frame on my wall because I want to know who my entrepreneurs are because I forget from season to season. But I also want them on the wall because I want to remember who are my good ones. The minute they meet with me and start playing victim, I turn their picture upside down and I don't really spend any much more time with them because a victim never succeeds on Shark Tank. Yeah, they might have a great pitch, they might get my money, but the minute they start playing victim, I realize they're never going to have a hit.
Amy?
So we've all worked together here for years, and we're friends too. And something that comes up on the show often.
You feel like you are. I feel like I'm watching a good TV show when I watch you.
So something that comes up amongst us is different investments and stuff we should do together. And Lunchbox in particular is always bringing different pitches. And I guess I just ask you, knowing our dynamic here a little bit, should we invest together? Is that a wise move for us?
A terrible move. I've only lost 2 friends in my whole life because I invested with them. Stay away from each other, buy lunch, and put a community money together for a good lunch. And that's about it.
That's what I think too. Because the guy that brings the ideas,
you like each other too much to lose. Think about it that way.
What about laundromats? You feel like that's a good investment generally?
Yeah, I generally do because it's cash. Most laundromats don't report the cash. It goes in their pocket.
Oh, interesting.
People are constantly coming in and putting coins in the machine. I love the idea that you get coins and you could add them up and put it in the bank, Now that's good. I wish I had a laundromat.
Tell me.
But don't invest in one.
With our friends. Yes, that's what she's saying. Yes, absolutely. Barbara, in your pocket, if there are people and they're like, man, I really want to know about being an entrepreneur, how can Barbara in your pocket actually help them?
It's the best thing they could do is to join me in my little clubhouse. I have all entrepreneurs who have one thing in their mind. What they want to do is they want to build a success of themselves, and they want to do it through building a business. I have the answers. I know where my talents lie, and I realize what I don't have. But I give great advice. I can read the person who's asking the question, know exactly what they should be doing, how they should shift their game, and how they'll succeed. And then we support each other. It's like a club. It's really like a clubhouse of like-minded entrepreneurs who really want to have a big success. I mean, I think that's a really good place to start, to surround yourself with good people.
You guys can check out BarbaraInYourPocket.com, and we've talked about it before, and I encourage everybody to check it out. And then check out Shark Tank. Season 16 premiered on the 16th, but it's on every Friday, ABC 8, 7 Central. It is Mark Cuban's last season. And Barbara, we really appreciate the time. Thank you so much for sharing all of your insights.
The time's over. I'm going to miss you guys. Went too fast.
It always goes so fast. And we're going to go and not invest in a laundromat right after this interview, right, guys?
Yes.
All right,
Yeah,
bye.
but you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to send you my worst business and ask you to invest in it.
Yes, do that because I invest in talent, and you are a pure talent, so I'm in, Barbara.
There you
See what I
go.
learned right there. I'm good. All right, Barbara,
right.
have a great day.
It's about